So this is my message history on the government benefit website for my ODSP or your ODSP. Well, this is mine though, but you have it as well if you're on ODSP and you can log in. So you may not know, but um, I usually get an extra $100, and you can too if you show that you've made any extra income under ODSP. You'll get that. My past history, it's got my mind boggled. But all I know is that I do need my payment, and I don't see it on here. I don't see it on the payments panel. Pager panel, it doesn't matter. Um, will it be visible at the end of the month? Payments panel or page? Will it be visible at the end of the month? Because it's missing from the usual. And also, do you know when that 5% increase is supposed to take effect? So I think it's gotten to the point, we're getting our statements every month. If you're one of those people that qualify to get your statement every month and your payment. And then now they've done the 5% increase. So we're happy. We should be happy. They've done everything. There was millions of dollars that's going to go out to everybody because we're all like a unified group of people. So they had a big pool of money that they've shared to our unified group of people. We should be more than happy. I think we'll have to see how much that 5% is. We know with the government, it's been announced, the inflation, how prices have gone up, how people. But I think instead of increasing our payments too much, they've increased it by 5%. They could also just alleviate some certain restrictions on the amount of assets or the amount of money that people can earn extra income. If they do that, people will not be so mad to bag or like they do over the increase. So instead of making it an increase where you have to pay dollars, allow people on ODSP like in every other country, like in the United States, where they can earn more than $200 extra. So they're a disabled person. We can already get 10,000 in gifts. And they and so I think they should allow people, because you can get 10,000 in gifts, but if it's $200, so they should make it official that you can make extra, because people are saying they can't. So when people say they can't survive on it, they're telling the truth. So why would you not let them make any extras if they can, and then still receive their support? That's their main support. And then they should also be able to live their life and all the different. Most of the books are how to. So you read your book and it says how to save money, okay, or how to make some extra money, because everybody knows how to make extra money, but it's the main support that people need. So that's the main problem. They got to alleviate that, because that is sort of criminal to not let people earn extra money and all that. To a certain extent, they should be able to make as much money as they want to eventually get off ODSP so that it can free the system to help people that need it, and need it. You get it? It's a scale. So it's an elevator. It could be an elevator. It's supposed to be an elevator, but you have these unfair restrictions that suffocate the system. And they've been suffocating the system for no reason. So that, I think that should be changed. And then we have that 5% increase. And then everybody should be like jumping up and down happy. We're on ODSP. Yeah, or you have ODSP. Congratulations. It shouldn't be a burden. It really hurts people's mental disabilities and their mental health to make it this burden with everybody, because it has to be done officially. Until then, it continues to be a burden on everybody, the politicians, the police, the citizens, and the ones on ODSP, because of any restrictions. It should just be their statement every month, and then there should be no restrictions on extra income. And then but you know what there should be a restriction on? Gifts. $10,000 a year restriction on gifts. So that means that because there's people that get $1 million gifts. My friend Jeremy from Texas, his dad sends him like $50,000 gifts all the time to his account. Okay, that's who we're dealing with. People like that is everyone else. And then we got people on ODSP that are limited to 10,000 gifts, right? A year. That's only $10,000 in a whole fiscal year, which that should be the limit. But when it comes to working or income themselves, they should be able to make unlimited income themselves on top of their support, because they're a disabled person. They need that support to survive, because in the reality, they can't even bring in that real income anyway. That's why they're on the support to begin with. They maybe make like some extra income, but they can't survive without that. Not the true ones that are supposed to be on ODSP. So that should be changed. And then if that happens, then they're spending less money on the budget for increases. They can increase it for the people that don't make any extra income, right? Sometimes I make no extra income. Hopefully it'll get to the point where we're making more, right? But I started from the ground up too. And extra income and all that is something they do promote, right? To be a productive member of society to your capability, because even when you're disabled, if you're not doing anything to any capability, you become stagnant. So hopefully that's a thing we can change. More exemptions or official exemptions in the system, so that people are not being strangulated by the system, especially on disability. That goes against the humanitarian thing to strangulate people on disability. If I can't breathe, I'll die because I have breathing issues with my heart and all that. And this payment stress is one of these stresses, and that's the reason why I got on it. And one of the reasons why is I have to be on ODSP is because my stress feels like my head's going to explode. My instruments, my ears and all that are freaking killing me, okay? And it's because of this, okay? And it's not funny. And to make it any worse for people is a crime. This is our system to get our entitlement. We're entitled to this money. We have disability. We were born by these riches that live here in Ontario. My whole family is rich except me. Okay? I'm the only one that doesn't own property. Same with everyone else in Ontario. And, hey, you could have got me aborted, but you choose not to. And what about my mom and their grandfather? And it goes up with my father, John. It was a lot of deceit. We've been through a lot of deceit here in Ontario with some of them, but I will remain here in Ontario, and obviously I'll die one day in Ontario. And my name's Tom Slote, and my grandfather and grandmother, they have headstones here in Ontario. All right. And if you're anybody that's anybody, my name's Thomas Perron-Slote, but it's also Tom Slote because my grandfather's name was Tom Slote. I was named after him. Like, my family has real headstones and graves here in Ontario, over in the Hillsburg area. The last Tom Slote to die in Canada, my grandfather, this is his headstone. And there's my grandmother, Margaret Lang. So we weren't just an insignificant Slote family. We were a real family, as you see a real headstone. That's why I get real ODSP. Our family's been here. And if you have a headstone, that meant significant. Significant. We had a lot of money. We did a lot for Ontario. We were well drillers all the way to Alberta. We were before Sun Oil moved to Canada. Our family was the family that sold. The Lang family sold Sun Oil the equipment to start their company out here in Canada. And my grandfather passed away in an electricity accident. Then Margaret died later. I got to meet Margaret. Very little. Very little did I get to meet my grandmother Margaret, but I know Uncle Roy, her brother, and he's still around, believe it or not. And there's my Uncle Gary, and he also has a headstone here in Canada. So I didn't just come from nothing. My last name is Slote, Slote, as well as Perron, Perron. I have two last names. What else to say about it? So I hope to get one day a headstone, but me, I don't know. It costs a lot of money. A lot of us are on ODSP that have fallen members of family. Yeah, and I remember these guys the most on Remembrance Day for my family. In loving memory of Carrie Williams Slote. I never got to meet them. Wow. And my uncle was killed at 21 years of age drilling for oil at Many Berries, Alberta, in the hands of his work dear son of Tom and Margaret. It's all the way up until now that I've gotten to see this headstone on the computer. I'm doing all right, but I'm no Gary. I mean, look at the headstone. Nobody would buy me a headstone. Nobody's even capable of it anymore. Okay? It's changed. My Uncle Gary was killed. Grandpa was killed. Grandma was killed. John stole all the money. And there ain't nobody there no more. And he's with some American lady down south. He's not with my mom anymore, and I live in Canada, and I'm on ODSP because my dad stole the big family inheritance that was left from the people that paid for fucking headstones and houses and shit like that. My dad won't have a headstone either, I doubt. Most people are getting cremated these days. Most people have gone broke. Their families died. They happen to be disabled here in Ontario where they were born and where their families died, and that's why I get that little $1,100 a month.